Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be about accessing cells in cells in Microsoft Excel through Python, or Pycharm specifically. And so without further ado, let's get started. So again, we're going to open up our, import our modules, open up a workbook, and open up our sheet. So we're going to type out import open PyExcel, get that out again. Now we're going to get our workbook, so we're going to type out workbook equals, again, PyExcel dot load workbook 5 echo us countries dot xlsx. We misspelled countries, unfortunately, so we're going to have to go back and fix that. Countries. And our sheet is basically workbook.get sheet by name, and we'll type out sheet 1 because that corresponds to the sheet name under our Excel book. What we can do is we can actually use Python to select some certain cells in a range. So for example, we could say, okay, we want to have all the cells between A1 and C5. What this basically means is that just select a cell of some box going from A1 in one corner to C5 in the other corner, the opposite corner, and then all the particular cells that make up that rectangle or box. So to do this, we can just type out sheet brackets A1 colon C5 and enter. So this gives us all 25 of our kind of sheets. Now what we can do is we can select only the sheet rows or only the sheet columns. So to do this, we'll do sheet.columns, dir object worksheet. Okay, I just selected them. We can do the same thing for sheet.rows. Basically did something very similar here. And finally, we can also list columns and rows. So we'll do list sheet.columns. We'll do index 1 because, again, index 0 is our first index, but I think that index 1 in our particular workbook will be more useful. As you can see, we have the number of columns here, or cells within the columns. We have B17, that's the end of our row and our column index 1. You can do the opposite. You can also go by rows by, of course, saying list parentheses sheet.rows parentheses 1. We did basically the same thing. Now we can also print some certain cell values in a particular range we want. So for example, we could just type out, I don't know, for row in sheet. Let's go for A1. Yeah, so let's go for A1 to C5 colon for cell and row. We're selecting for row in a sheet and for a cell in a row. We're going to print cell.value. And finally, we're going to print our escape clause. So it's going to be commas. I'm sorry, no, not parentheses, but quotes, \n. And basically, what it does is get printed out every single cell value between A1 and C5. If we look at ECOWAS countries, we can see that C5, let's see where's C5. You can see that C5 is over here at ease of doing business, 110. Ease of doing business, 123, 110. Ends on Cote d'Ivoire, and as you can see, it ended on 110. Now, you can also loop through columns to search for names in lists. So for example, let's just try something like, I don't know, for name in list sheet column. Then we can see the usefulness of the sheet.column, the sheet.rows kind of things that got passed in, because again, it's going into the list. And let's try get index 0 or index 1. And this one's going to be a bit simple. We're just going to print the names and the values. Oops, we've got a colon. Columns. And yes, it was also, again, I misspelled columns. It should be columns, not column. And it basically gave us all the sort of columns. So for example, if we look back at our sheet, we can see that it got all, oops. We can compare. So for example, it said none here, Senegal, 23. We selected the B column because that's what we're getting our values from. So from Senegal, 23.54, 1, 2, 3, etc. So that's basically how you work with cells in Excel, and how you can kind of select basically cells and import them into the console. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.